Leroy Slava is a professional property investor, entrepreneur, coach and a speaker who had to pull himself up by his bootstraps after hitting rock bottom due to drug addiction. He is now a key player in the multi-billion rand South African property sector. Not only did Slava battle substance abuse, he had to surmount many challenges on his way to the top, including losing 1 million in a franchise business deal that went sour. The 33-year-old businessman from Boksburg is founder and chief executive of Leroy Slava Properties, which he established in 2009, among other business interests. To hear more about his journey, Leroy now joins us in studio here on Change Your Game, and he is chief executive of Leroy Slava Properties. How are you doing?
I'm well, and yourself?
I'm good, thank you.
Good.
What a colorful story.
Yeah.
So what I find most fascinating and inspiring about your story is, how you were a former drug addict and you got out of that
Yes.
and turned your life into a success story, not just getting out of that, but, achieving all that you've done. How did it all start in terms of getting out of that dark pit?
I think it was about 8 years ago, over 8 years ago.
Yeah.
And it was the World Cup actually, 2010. Bafana beat France. And I found myself in a drug house in the Rege Park. That's where I'm from. And it's cold, it's June, it's winter. I'm lying on that single bed in that drug house and I'm thinking to myself, so man, is this how my life is? And I thought that day, I said, no, I have to make a decision today. I have to do something to change this. And that's when I came out of there. And around that time, my sister started going to church. And anyway, Sunday comes, went to church, and that's when my life started changing. Put up my hand in church, with Jesus, my Lord and Savior, and that's when things started happening. And that's a summarized version. So that's a summarized version for you there.
Yeah.
That's how the change came.
So what was the first step that, okay, now you've decided you're changing your life?
Yeah.
And then did you know you're going to get into business, or you just knew you wanted something completely different?
Look, I think I was unemployable a bit at the time because with the drug habits, it's difficult to keep a job. So you don't go to work Fridays, you stay out Mondays, and it basically forced me to start looking at opportunities. And I actually started selling perfumes. Bought them for 50 rand. I sold them for 100 rand. And I started buying perfumes. And then we got a little cleaning contract with Transnet.
Yeah.
Started going to that. Got a small station in Delmas. We had one cleaner and one gardener. And that's how the business journey started. And from there, we got another contract. And then we bought a food franchise, which failed.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the intro that you read there. Lost about 1 million in that business.
1 million.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it was, but it was a good lesson. That's the only way you learn.
Yeah.
Some expensive lessons, but yeah.
What are the lessons there? What would you say to young people then? I mean, obviously there are risks in business, but from what you've taken from that loss, what would you say?
I think one of the things that I learned from that was that don't get into something that you don't know anything about. Something that looks good, but you don't know anything about it. You haven't researched it. It just sounds and looks like a good idea.
Yeah.
But you don't have an understanding of how the back office works. You don't have an understanding how the full business works. I would say don't get into that.
Yeah.
I would say first do your research, get educated on the whatever business it is, and then come in. I think that's one of the challenges I have is I get excited and I go for it, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work.
So after that, was the goal, let me just get up and survive, or was it, I need to recover this 1 million?
Look, I think at the time that we lost the 1 million, I think, God is so good. Every time when one business was not doing well, another one was starting up. So it wasn't at the time that it was the million was the rock bottom.
Yeah.
Then the property started.
Yeah.
The property started making money, and I was buying and selling properties, distressed properties. So I was buying sheriff's auctions. I was buying these cheap properties for 100,000, 150, 300,000. I was buying them and selling them. And as the franchise business was going down, that one was starting to pick up. So that's what happened there.
Yeah, that's God for you.
That's
One
God,
door
eh?
closes and then a better one opens.
And a better one opens. So that's how my journey has been. Every mistake or every failure,
Yeah.
there when something is not going well, there was something else that came up, and that's when I found out when I got the property bug, and I saw that, listen, this thing could actually work.
Yeah.
And I thought, let me put my focus on this, because I actually enjoy this. The other things were just businesses that were started, but it wasn't my passion.
Yeah.
And that's when I got into the property sector.
What would you say is a trick in finding a great deal in property? Is there a trick?
There is a trick. Firstly, you need to know what you're looking for, because in property we have different strategies. You have residential, you have commercial, you have industrial, you have developments. Now, the key is to find out what you're looking for. You're looking for and where you are at the time. That's important. Because are you looking to buy and sell properties for capital, lump sums, or are you looking to get cash flow, the monthly income from rentals? So first find out what you're looking for, and then go. And if you're a beginner, start with a small property.
Yeah.
Start with a flip, buying it, selling it, making 100,000, or buying a flat, renting it out, so you can get into it and understand the processes around buying and selling a property.
Yeah.
And then you can go into the bigger deal. Then you can start looking into commercial. Once you've done a couple of small residential deals, now you can look into commercial, look into developments, maybe look into industrial. So but looking for, you need to know what you're looking for. And then you need to analyze an area, find out what you're looking for, and find out where that works. Because everything doesn't work in every area.
Yeah. Would you recommend property in townships? What's the market like there?
I love townships. Why I love townships is property prices are still low. And there's a huge demand in townships. If now my township that I come from is Rege Park. I don't know if you guys know where that is, in Boksburg. Now the nice thing, if I buy a property today, buy it for 2, 3, 4, whatever, 100,000. By the end of the week, I've got 10 people coming to look at that property. So I love township. Townships are still where you can get properties at decent prices. So
Yeah.
I enjoy. Not everyone does, and you need to have an appetite for it, because you need to understand the township.
Yeah.
So don't go into any township. I wouldn't go into Tembisa, because I don't understand Tembisa.
Yeah.
But I'm from Rege Park, so because some places in townships, the bonds don't bank.
Yeah.
The banks don't
Banks,
bond.
yeah.
Others, you have 10 people in one yard. Others is there's some drugs in another sector. So you need to understand the dynamics in the township before just getting in and buying.
Yeah. Your motivation, what keeps you going?
I think God keeps me going, man. And yeah, that's been the thing throughout that has carried me, and family as well. My mother, I said, if it wasn't for my mother, because she was fighting all along when I was out there away for a week, not coming home, rehab cells and all that. She was the one praying, and my sister, and fighting, come home, looking for me and stuff. So I would say that was the key. And now I'm married.
Yeah.
My wife's pregnant, so the motivation has changed
congratulations.
now. Thank you.
That's great.
Yeah.
So what would you say then, just finally, would makes a good property investor for the young people wanting to get into the space?
A good property investor. I would say education. And I'm not talking about university education. I'm talking about financial education. Get yourself on a course, on a 2-day property course, or find someone who is doing it successfully, so you can start following that person and learn. So because the thing is, anyone can go buy a property today.
Yeah.
There's properties out there, you can go get a bond, buy a property, but buying the right properties, it takes knowledge, it takes understanding, and then you need to understand area, you need to understand the strategy, you need to understand negotiating, you need to understand a few things before you buy it. So I would say, get yourself on a course, like I'm the speaker for Rich Dad. Get yourself on a basic 2-day course or 3-day course, and then start following someone who is
Yeah.
doing it before you
On
buy.
that note of following, what are your Instagrams and Twitter and all of that, and people can follow?
It's Leroy Slava.
Mm-hmm.
That's on Facebook and Twitter.
Okay.
I've messed up Instagram somehow. I don't know. I forgot my.
You forgot the passwords and
stuff,
logins.
so,
Okay.
yeah.
So at Leroy Slava, Facebook and Twitter.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much for your
Thank
time
you so
again.
much.
All right, Leroy Slava, founder and chief executive of Leroy Slava Properties, chatting to us here on Change Your Game on Channel Africa. My name is Asanda Beda. Remember, you can find us on Facebook, Channel Africa Change Your Game, and on Twitter at Change Your Game 2.